Hello, 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 beautiful people. I am going to play the MYM song while we wait for everybody to arrive.
Take my hand and come with me. There's a little golden place where genius can breathe. Take our hands and you will see. There's a tiny golden place where genius roams free. Where fear can't play and love just stays, and no one can tear you down. Monetize your time. Monetize your time. Monetize your magic. It's time. Monetize your time. Monetize your time. Monetize your magic with your heart, please. With the waves of your heart, please. Take our hands and come and play. There's a giant golden place where genius can stay. Take your hands and hold your own. There's a flowing golden place where you already know. Where fear can't stay and love is the way, and your heart is finally found. Monetize it's time. Monetize it's time. Monetize your magic. You can monetize it's time. Monetize it's time. Monetize your magic. You can hold, takes hold. You let go of old. You lead with things come your way. You lead good softly drifts on your sleeves, and you'll find your heart leads the way. And you'll find monetize your magic. Only you can monetize your music. Monetize your voice. Monetize this magic. Only you can take your hand leads the way. There's a little golden place and your dreams are here.
Hello, 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 beautiful people. Give me a hello in the chat box if you can hear me, if you can see me. Thanks, guys. Say hi, say hi. Awesome. Cool. We're going to be giving prizes out tonight to people who are interacting. So if you're not chit-chatting, if you're not saying hey, if you're not connecting, the team won't be able to see you're here. Makes it hard to give a prize. So make sure that you're saying hey and hanging out with me. Awesome. Who's excited? I'm really excited. Like buzzing. Yeah, pop an emoji in the chat box. All right, team, I am going to share my screen with you all. I'm going to get into it. The emojis are good. Who else is drinking champagne? Can you see my champagne glass over there? Is that what you're referencing? Hi. Oh, I'm buzzing I'm the champagne. Okay, cool. I'm into that. I actually very rarely drink at all. But it felt like cause for celebration for everyone choosing sovereignty. So I'm going to set the intention tonight that we all celebrate ourselves, that I celebrate you for being here. I'm going to share some past actions of myself that I'm celebrating today still, and yeah, see what we can create together. Cool. So welcome to How to Be Financially Sovereign and Monetize What You Love. Rach just pulled the card celebration, so we're obviously going to have a great time. Awesome. This presentation is for you if you have a magical skill, art, or passion that you would love to share with the world so that you can become fully financially sovereign. Does that sound good for anybody? Does anyone relate to that one? You're a magic-led creative, needing clarity on exactly how to create sustainable impact and financial flow without being paralyzed by your overwhelm, without getting stuck in those spirals of confusion. Or you feel as though there is more and you're willing to follow your heart to create it. Pop a hello or something in the chat box if you relate. Awesome. Cool. And if you haven't already, actually, a call for reminding you that if your chat box says to host and panelists, I'm the only one that can see you. So if you want to switch that in the little blue tag to everybody can hang out with you. So I have a question for you to think about. And that is, what would you do if money was no object? So I've got some photos here of me just doing some things that I love, being in Africa with some of my beautiful friends from all around the world. This photo of cheetahs, actually from the same trip. So I've kind of cheated, I've put the same thing there twice. But I just love that photo so much. And to me, when I look at it, I actually think of myself and my beloved Claire, my partner Claire. For those of you who don't know her, that actually just reminds me of us. So that's what that represents there for me. And being able to spend time, being able to do these things, being able to say yes when opportunities knock on my door. And now with the state of the world, I'm so glad that I said yes when I did. And then this is a picture of Erica and I. So we like to say that Erica is the lead facilitator in MYM and I'm the lead celebrator. So I'm here to cheerlead. You get plenty of both of us, but yeah, that's us at a ritual photo shoot, which is something else that I love creating. I love connecting in ritual to what I'm creating. So yeah, put in the chat box something that you would be doing now if money was no object, something that you would be creating, something that you would love. I want to celebrate some of those things. I need like a little bit of music to just play while I wait for chat box action. Relaxing more into artistry. I love that. I love that. I've recently gotten back into painting, which has been super rewarding. Buying land with a huge studio to paint in with windows all around. Similar vibe happening. Fearlessly sharing and offering things knowing they aren't coming from a place of scarcity. Fuck yeah. Literally same, Tamika. Yeah, cool. Cool. I love the thread that always weaves, hey? Traveling as well as going into all my outdoor hobbies like surfing. Cool. Any other surfers here? Cruising on my super yacht. Oh, on the Amalfi Coast. Can I come? I'm there. Epic. Cool. Keep sharing. Don't think that just because I've moved forward, you can't keep sharing. So how to get the most out of this training. I value your time. I think it's one of the most precious things that you have. And also creators time bend, right? So let's make sure that we squeeze the juice out of this time and really get the benefit of it. So the first thing, turn your phone off and be present. If you're going to be here, be here. Give yourself the space to really actually receive. And if you're watching this on your phone, obviously that's a little bit different, but switch your notifications off. Be here, yeah, and receive. Take notes, receive the value. I'm probably going to say receive 1,000 times tonight. Please don't be afraid to take a screenshot, write it down. If you have questions pop up, write it down. I won't answer them throughout, but at the end of the evening, I will stick around and answer any questions that you guys have. So write it down. And then if I don't answer it naturally throughout our process this evening, I'll answer it. Sound good? Cool. Choose to be of service to yourself. First and foremost, if you're not choosing to be of service to your highest good, you're going to be unconsciously choosing something else. So let's take a moment to choose that. I choose that. That's why I'm here. I'm here to serve, share my heart, choose to receive the benefit of this training, be willing to let go of old ideas and stay until the end. Again, we're going to be giving prizes to those who are interacting this evening. We've got some really cool gifts to give away. And yeah, we've got some exciting invitations for you at the end. Cool. What I'm going to cover today. Why not being financially sovereign and monetizing your magic is a problem and what to do about it. Is that a problem for you guys, like in your awareness? Is that a thing in your life that you're like, fuck, I wish I got paid more to do more of what I love? The 5 big mistakes that part-time entrepreneurs and creatives are making. Huge for you right now, Bella, and Mel, you avoid it. Cool to see. And how to be financially sovereign and monetize what you love using the 3 steps to financial sovereignty, and door prize announcements for our MYM Doors Open celebration. I'm super excited. Okay, we appreciate you. There's a big thank you from Erica and I, from the rest of the GP team. Everything that we do for you guys. We do it because it's the call of our hearts, and we don't take it lightly that people choose to work with us. We don't take it lightly that even for our free offerings, that people choose to come, that people are invested, even in their time, because there's so much out there. There is so much out there, and we really want to see a world full of people expressing their genius, full of people building structures built on integrity for longevity with sustainability. And we're excited that there's obviously a resonance of values and that you're here. So thank you so much. Because of this system, I have been blessed enough to really create a life where I live in line with the true aspirations of my heart. There's no question for me of what I'm called to, and there's no question of whether I can or will do it when I receive that call. It's just a yes. I created location freedom and travel, which I still do now in a slightly different way. Sustainably generate multiple streams of income doing what I love. I like to use the analogy of a cauldron when it comes to our financial stability, and thinking that a cauldron typically has 3 legs. And if you cut one of those legs, it's going to fall and spill the potion. And if that potion is your genius, is the essence of your life, is your financial well-being, then you want to have lots of legs, right? So I have 8, I believe, separate streams of income. And what I love about that is that it's all what I love. There's none of those dollars that come in where I'm like, oh, I've got to get rid of that. It's a kink in my hose. We have a saying in the MYM community where we say heart dollars, and that's really real for me. I've cultivated deep intimacy in my relationship with myself, with my partner, and with my community. I was able to buy the woman of my dreams, her first motorbike this year. That was really fun. And I really just live as myself. I really do. And it's such a gift for me to have this knowing in my being that whatever environment I'm in, whoever I'm surrounded by, I'm going to show up as me. It's not a condition of whether I'm with my family, whether I'm with my friends, whether I'm with my clients. I'm Ellie. And I think that's the greatest gift. And I think what happens when we create from our heart, at least in my experience, definitely what I see reflected to me by my clients is that it's like more and more of our essence is anchored on earth. And so, of course, right, we're a soul, we're a spirit, we have divinity streaming through us all the time that we can access. And what I find is that the more that I activate that into the 3D, the more that I action it and I anchor it here, the more it comes, and it's just expansive, but becomes more grounded. I see a lot of creatives creating and going up a lot, but not being really grounded with that action and with that follow through. And then I see a lot of creatives actioning and following themselves into the ground, but not actually purely listening to the call. So it's a really different experience to be able to do both. And that's my hope for you. And I get to say yes to just things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I wasn't financially sovereign. And that trip to Africa is a really great example of that, to not even hesitate, to just say, yeah, put me down, I'm coming. It's big. Right now, Claire and I are going through the process of buying our dream home, which is pretty cool. Amazing, but it wasn't always this way, right? I didn't pop out of the womb walking and talking like this, earning like this. In 2013, I was a broke uni student. I'm curious if any of you guys are at uni or have been to university. I know we've got a range of different ages here this evening. But at the time, I was trying so hard to create a life, a career, and a paycheck that I loved. And I really thought that I had to get a good job, that I had to get good grades, that I had to be the cream of the crop. And for those who don't know my journey, Frank lectures at uni. How good. There you go. But I was studying medicine and I was in the top 2% in Australia, and there was part of me that loved it, right? But there was a bigger part where I was neglecting my truth and I was burning myself to the ground. I was feeling trapped. I was feeding this system that I didn't believe in. And I'm not saying that I don't believe in, any of the medical system or anything like that. But I just had in my own cells, in my own body, this knowing that there was more, this knowing that this wasn't where my soul wanted me to be. And that I had said as a child, like, I want to be a healer, I want to help people. And so naturally, the people around me had assumed and projected that, oh, she's going to be a doctor. And I consumed that. I thought, great idea. What a great way to make good money. And yeah, I now make more than all of my friends who I would have graduated with, which is really interesting. So I was trying to create a life I loved. I tried lots of different things. I'll be curious if you guys relate to any of these. I tried to change to fit into that uni system and earn free money from Centrelink for Freedom. Like literally, I was like, I have this freedom lifestyle. I get paid for free. Like I just literally thought I was living the dream. But I was kidding myself, right? And I spent most of that on vodka and, partying, living off crumbs. Yeah, I was saying to her, we had a friend over for dinner last night and she was saying that she just bought her son these epic walkie-talkies because they go camping all the time. He's 6 and they have a range of 3 kilometers. And so they're using it around the house. And I had this thing at uni. I lived at college. I always wanted walkie-talkies. I thought how fun to have like walkie-talkies in the common rooms and, be able to be like, hello, is anyone there? And I wouldn't spend like $50 on walkie-talkies because I was just like, oh, if I do that, then like maybe I won't be able to buy my vodka or maybe I won't be able to like whatever. Like it was coming at the cost of my lifestyle or something else. And it was just my mindset, right? You wouldn't even buy Wi-Fi. How funny we are. So I researched different industries. I read hundreds of personal development books, became like this book squid. And I used to put little like happy affirmations and notes and shit under people's doors at college. And I was just like this happiness. My first Instagram handle was Shiny Happy Ellie. I started a network marketing business And that really opened my mind to something different. It's one of my income streams still today. It's not a big focus for me, but I do love it. And I love it as an option for people who are truly called to it. You know, there's a lot of mixed stuff about network marketing and affiliate marketing out there, but when done with heart, like anything, it's a beautiful structure. And it introduced me to the concept that, oh, maybe something other than being a doctor could provide me with income. Maybe something other than trading a lot of my time for money could provide a good income, because I just had this in my mind that it was an exchange, right? Harder working, greater amounts of time, more money. And I wanted to have that financial independence. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. So network marketing broke my brain a little bit. It opened me into the personal development world. I started doing leadership and speaker training. Would you believe that in high school, I used to bribe my English literature teachers so that I didn't have to do the public speaking? I'd be like, I'll do 2 if I don't have to do it in front of the class. And they'd be like, you idiot, work harder, go for it. Right? Funny where I am now. I gave away a lot of free stuff. Does anyone do that? In this like attempt to build clientele and this attempt to connect. And, you know, this is free, right? Like, I'm not saying don't give freely, but give freely from overflow. Give freely because your chalice is full. And I think so many of us give freely because we think we have to. It's the only way to be seen. It's the only way to receive. Earning it by doing shit for free. Hell yeah. Not anymore. Giving free sessions made me resentful. Yeah, right. But you've done it. Yeah. In some way, shape, or form. It's that hard work piece. But none of those things really were my heart. And so when I was trying to create freedom, when I wasn't taking actions from my heart, it just didn't hit the spot, right? It didn't hit the ticket. Give free stuff from overflow, not scarcity. 100%, Sarah. It's completely different. So I was really stuck. I was barely surviving off money that I was making off my network marketing business. And it's lucky I had this, right? I don't want to put down that industry. I love it. Has a really special place in my heart. It broke me out. It showed me a different way, but I just wanted to get paid to do what I loved. And it wasn't that. And I wanted to be paid for my own magic, for my own heart, for my own offers. So I just wasn't feeling fulfilled. And I would have these, does anyone relate? I had these moments of like expansion and then just nothing would really happen. I wouldn't be that inspired. And then I'd expand and then I wouldn't be that inspired. And then something externally would really motivate me and then I wouldn't be that inspired. And so I was just oscillating because I wasn't really in it. I was wasting my life. I was wasting my gifts. And the truth is, to be completely honest with you guys, I wasn't even certain what my gifts were. A lot of my gifts that I have, my clairvoyance, my ability to see intuitively, I actually thought it was a burden. I didn't see it as a gift at all. I was like, oh, what a death sentence. What a shit contract for me to sign. Sucks having some of these gifts. I hate being connected. So I wasn't even accepting myself. And I was just inching away from what wasn't working rather than shooting for a North Star. So it's like, you know, I'm going to create a business because I fucking hate my job. But you're just moving from that space of scarcity. I'm going to offer free shit because hopefully someone will buy something after. Moving from a place of scarcity. I'm going to make this cheaper because then I might make more sales. And then more people will give me a testimonial. And then more people will want to come next time instead of honoring the value of what's real, right? It's not coming from the heart. Can anyone relate to any of those? I think lowering our prices is a big one. So we don't have a North Star when we don't have that. And I mean a true North, not just the North Star of the people around us. Erica's North Star is different to mine. My beloved Claire's North Star is different to mine. Tamika, yours is different. Sarah, yours is different. Frank, yours is different. Right? But there's pieces within that overlap, like an infinity symbol. I'm going to share my infinity model with you soon. It's one of my favorite things ever. Cool. And then I remembered my magic. How cool is this photo? I completed an embodiment training And I just found this whole new layer of freedom for my body, for my way of being, for being connected to myself and connected to my gifts. Like, this is where I started to really, these are what my gifts are. And fuck, I can be celebrated in that. And oh my God, there are people in the world who can welcome it. I discovered practical tools. And I really began to hone in my focus with those tools and my intuition. And it was a really interesting experience of like having it just reflected to me in the world that my intuition was real over and over and over again. And it was like, it took a while, right? But eventually it just clicked in my brain and I was like, fuck, this shit's real. Like, this magic is real. Magic is real in my life and for everybody. And then I discovered genuine mentorship in different ways. I started to connect to the value of what it was like to have teachers around me. A lot of it was at this time through podcasts, through, you know, teachers that I was attending trainings and workshops for, or just women who were leading circles. And I started to share my gifts. And I wanted to do it, be magic led full time. Anyone relate to that? But it felt like this photo, right? I was not ready for this photo. And it's become one of my favorite photos. I just think it's hilarious. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't understand really what having a pillar is that photo now, what having a structure was. I didn't understand that, you know, having sales and marketing wasn't an evil, manipulative thing. I didn't know how to ask for money for my services. Fucking awkward. I would just sweat and like drop things. When I'm on edge, I'm just the most awkward person when I'm disconnected. It's quite hilarious for the people who know me well. You've all seen it. I didn't have any clarity on my offerings. Like, I knew what my gifts were now. I had a better idea of what it felt like when I was doing my thing, but I still wasn't like, if someone was like, how can I work with you? I'd be like, I don't know, let's chat about it. I'll tailor something for you. We'll figure it out. Let's hang out. There was like this over relaxation for me. And I wasn't willing to invest in business coaching, even though intuitively I was getting hit after hit after hit to just invest in someone, to just commit to a teacher. I had teachers in other things, right? Like embodiment teachers, or, you know, women's work and this other stuff, personal development, speaking, training. But would I invest in someone who would show me how to structure a business, how to structure an offer? No way. I just wouldn't. It was like this edge for me. And I was hearing all of these stories of people who got burnt. Does anyone relate to that? Has anyone actually been that person where you've invested in something and then just been like, well, this isn't what, you know, there was an outline and I don't know what this is, but it's not that. Yeah. It like kills me. I hear it all the time. Kills me is not the right word. It inspires me actually to be louder with this work, because I see so much of it. I see people spend more than twice the amount of the MYM space and be like, well, I got nothing. And they're not going for what I got. Yeah. And that happens too, right? Sometimes people invest in amazing spaces and they do nothing, and that's on them. Who's been that person? I relate less to that person, but I do see a lot of it. Cool. Everything changed when I put my heart first. Surprise. Vulnerability, hey? I had to stop hiding and start actually listening to the messages that my heart was giving me. From that moment that I actually chose my heart, it was just one synchronicity after the other. And I don't mean like I chose my heart and I got this chocolate over that chocolate. Like, I left med school and I just leapt into this unknown. I made big, scary decisions that I couldn't tell you why I was doing it, other than I just get that it's my truth. I just get that this is where I shine. I just get that if I stay here, I'm going to be playing a small game for the rest of my life, and I don't want that. So there wasn't an explanation when I dropped out and I told my family. It was a bit of an explosion, which I definitely created. It was what I was afraid of, right? But I was just being smacked in the face with this invitation to step up, start offering my gifts in the world. I had so many people in my life seeking support from me, and it was just obvious. So I started teaching what I love, and I started investing in aligned teachers, and everything shifted when I did that. I was doing some stuff prior to investing in myself, but it was like, I had to take it seriously and decide, okay, this is actually going to be a business. Is anyone like, I need to make that decision, or I've made that decision, that's why I'm here, and that's actually why you're now open to learning, you're now open to choosing something different? That was me. It was like, when I made a big investment in my business, I was like, okay, like I got to show up now. I'm going to put my body where my money was, right? I'm going to go for it. And so I asked myself some questions. If I was fully sovereign, and I want you to ask yourself this now, and I would love for you to write something down for yourself or share it. If you don't want to share anything at any point, by the way, that's so cool, but give me like a smiley face or something just so that I can still feel you here. If I was fully sovereign, what would that present like in my business? Fully sovereign. 10 out of 10s only. Only what I would love. If something feels off, it doesn't fly. We investigate. What does that feel like? I'm whole. I assume that I am whole. There's nothing to prove. I'm just here to serve because my heart's overflowing for it. And what would I love to offer from that space that people would love to receive? What would I love? And I mean love. I don't mean really like. I don't mean what would be cool. I don't mean what's on trend. What would you fucking love? There's no like true ring for me in there being a calling to your soul that isn't meant to be out here in the world. This just seems fake to me. Someone's like, oh, I have this deep calling, but I just get that it's not in this lifetime. I just think it's bullshit. It's your own stuff. Get out of your way. If you'd love to offer it, there will be people who would love to receive it, but there will be a way that people would love to receive it, right? There will be a way that serves. I'd love to give people moments of absolute peace that continues on in the real world. Yeah, so it's not escape, right? It's solution, it's support. It's different. Super cool. Love that, Rach. Okay, did everyone write something down? Amazing. So I made a decision, right? I invested in myself. I'm like, let's go. Needed a plan. I had to build a community. I needed some sort of structure, right? And I really found that if I could introduce people to the heart of my work, the actual heart, the frequency of what I was about, then they would engage because they'd connect. And then I could enroll my true people on the journey with me because that's all I wanted. I think we've all done it. If you've dabbled in business at all, you've likely worked with someone when you were like, when does this contract finish? How did I get myself into this? Far out, do I really have another session with this person? Such relatable content. Like, so many people just work with people because of scarcity, but they aren't focused on their true people. They aren't focused on their true connections. Beautiful artwork created from heart. I love that. Enriches homes and lives. It does. Art makes people feel, right? Educating practical spirituality and integration tools, plus time, energy, and space to volunteer. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a like really important value for me, to have the spaciousness to be able to give freely. But again, to not kill myself in the process, right? I realized if I didn't say yes to getting paid for doing what I love, it wasn't going to happen. There wasn't going to be a mythical creature who came and delivered a golden box at my door and was like, you get paid 6 figures now. Well done. Wasn't going to happen. I had to choose it. And I had to really go, okay, like, how do I want to choose this? Where do I want to build this from? Do I want to build this from an energy of trying to prove something, trying to prove my worth, trying to survive? Or do I want to build this from my wholeness? Do I want people to see my offerings and be like, oh, this woman, her heart, can feel her? I couldn't just wait. yeah, wholeness for sure. And so I had to take action, and it had to be from that space, right? Wholeness creates wholeness. Love creates love. Fear creates fear, separation. I realized true freedom lives in a commitment to doing what I love. If I could keep my focus in my zone of genius in that 10 of 10, then getting paid to do what I love was going to be the obvious outcome. It's like, of course, if I'm focused on what I love, I'm going to have more of what I love in my life. Of course, structure has integrity. This is big. I feel like I relearn this every single freaking day. If I could implement systems and structures that allowed me to share my message with grace and with impact, then I could create a lot more financial stability and help a lot more people beyond myself, right? I didn't have to do it alone. This was big. Does anyone relate to this one? I feel like surely. It's exhausting doing it alone. So aligned mentorship would allow me to create my visions abundantly and efficiently, not only because I was saving the time and money of figuring out how by learning from someone who had already done it, already made the mistakes, giving me the shortcuts, but also because when you align with an aligned mentor, who do you think all the other people working with them are? They're like creative warriors in arms. They're the people who are resonating at the same frequency as you, choosing the same things, willing to see you in your greatness as well, right? In the right containers. Aligned mentorship is so much more than just having a coach or just having one cheerleader or just having one person that gives you advice. It's not what it is. Not for me anyway. Community is one of my highest values. And I had success. Created sustainable income, doing what I love because I followed the structure, right? I realized living in line with my own sovereignty, with my heart, with my message, was what really invited my ideal clients into my business. I didn't have to duplicate somebody else. I didn't have to mirror the thing that was cool in the environment. So often, actually, I will see people sharing things on socials and be like, yeah, I've been through that, but I'm not called to share it right now. And when I share because I'm called to. It's okay if I'm not called to every single day, right? Because it's about the frequency. I created multiple aligned income streams, multiple, not just one. Start with one, yes. Start with one, let it be sustainable. I see a lot of people go, oh my God, I have so many ideas, and they do like 3% of 12. Anyone? Any guilty players in the crowd? Right? Or they get to like 90% of one, and it's like, meh, close enough. Let's launch it, get on to the next thing. I've been guilty of this stuff before, by the way, guys. I'm not just pointing fingers. Fully aware that there's me too. Yeah. So multiple, but one at a time with sustainability, right? I found the medicine for my financial pain was in my heart the whole time. I just couldn't see it. I just needed the structures and the commitment to actually choose it, to really ground it into reality. And this is like one of the things that has stuck with me. I used to work with Teal Swan. Some of you guys may know her. And she used to say, she said to me, she was like, your gift is that you stay anchored to solid ground when everyone else is in chaos. And you're able to pull people from their higher selves back down into earth and anchor it here. She was like, you have this gift of seeing greatness and maintaining balance and calm. And that's your greatest gift. And she wrote it. She has the worst handwriting in the world, but she rewrote it in one of the books that I bought of her. She was like, I need you to get this. This is the worst writing. I wish I had it on me. I'd show you guys. Yeah, she's really great. So what I realized is that anyone could do what I had done using the system that I had used. Thanks, Sarah. I just had to break it down, right? It was a great structure in my mind, but it wasn't written down anywhere. Whew, okay, tissues if you're a crier. Dream come true. This is a picture of me and my mum. How cute is she? It's like the angels shining off her teeth. In 2018, my mum suffered a stroke while I was hours away from home, and that may not sound like a dream, and it wasn't. It was fucking horrible. But the dream come true, like what I realized was that I actually had the freedom to drop everything and be there. And it didn't come at the expense of my emotional security. It didn't come at the expense of my income. It didn't come at the expense of my relationships with my clients, nothing. Like I could actually just go and be with my family when I got that phone call from my brother. And it was like one of those moments of he called and I answered by being like, what's wrong? Something's wrong. Like I just fucking knew. And yeah, he wasn't in a great way. And so I just realized in that moment, like I knew I had freedom. I'd been traveling around the world. I'd been, doing what I wanted, following my own rules for a long time. But it wasn't until that happened where I was like, fuck, like I actually have real freedom. I can actually be here, because I was alone in that room with doctors telling me that she was going to be a vegetable for the rest of her life, and me being like, no, she's not. And it was just something in my heart that was like, she's going to be okay, just stay with her. And she just made a miraculous recovery, to the point of when she first had her scan, they said to her, they're like, well, to her, she was unconscious, said to us in front of her, which I did not like, that it was so big. There was just no coming back. Like the only reason that she was alive was because her brain had actually created an alternative pathway for blood. Because this clot was just, it clogged up the biggest blood flow in her brain. But then she just woke up one morning, it was completely gone. They couldn't find any evidence of the stroke in her body. And it just taught me the power of love, the power of focus. That actually, when we just focus on what we love, when we have that North Star, like miracles and magic are real. They're not this elusive thing that, that happen in movies and make believe. They're real. They're real. Who has shit happen in their life where you're like, there is no explanation for that. There is no medical explanation now in my mum's body. There's no evidence that happened to her. There's some emotional evidence, right? But there's just like lit a fire, and bad pun, because at the time it was in Western Australia. I live in Western Australia, and we had awful fires, and I had to drive mum home. It's usually a 2-hour drive, maybe 2 hours 20 if you stop for fuel or something. And it took us like 4 hours to drive home because so many of the roads were closed. We were like crawling in traffic, which is kind of nice because she probably would have got car sick. So it was it was nice. But I can just remember us both weeping in the car, being like, fuck, like that was big, right? And with gratitude and thankfulness. And she just was like, thank you. And she just kept saying, thank you. She was like, I could hear you. I was there with her the whole time, and she could hear me speaking to her. And I was saying to her, I was like, Mum, I can feel your soul. I know it's not your time. It's okay. Just rest. Just take this time to rest. We're good. Everything's taken care of. I'm not going anywhere. And she was like, I could hear you. And I just made a decision that I wanted more people to be able to do that. It broke my fucking heart that my brother couldn't be there with me. And there are other people in my family who just couldn't be there. And so I was like, okay, I have freedom for Ellie. Ellie is free, great. But what else? Like I still wanted more. I wanted people linking arms beside me, right? Those creative warriors that I spoke about. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. That was a little while ago now. Thankfully, she is very well, and we have a really beautiful relationship. It's one of the lights of my life. And then the dream come true continues. So 8.5 years. I did the maths last week because I just thought, curious, like I was listening to a podcast, and there was a question on it that said, true wealth is, it might have even been an email newsletter that I received. I'm subscribed to lots of things. And the question was like, what is true wealth? I think it's Robert Kiyosaki that says true wealth is how long you could sustain your current lifestyle if all of your income stopped. And mine was 8.5 years. And I was calculating for my lifestyle with myself and my beloved Claire for no change of lifestyle there. to be able to support my mom, my brother. I was like, what have we got? Like, how long would we have? And that was it. Of the cash in our account, with nothing coming in, and without having to be like, okay, babe, you can't go to CrossFit anymore. Like, we're not going to be able to go out for dinner this week. We've got to like breathing space. And I remember asking before I think I maybe only had a few grand in my account when I asked my mate Chris this, but he's super successful, right? Has like a digital marketing business. And I remember asking him, we went out for lunch, and I was like, what's it like actually just to have so much money in your account? Like, I knew he had 6 figures. I didn't know how much, but I knew he had a lot. And he was like, it's like a cloud. It's like just a cloud. And then I found out that he had more than that, because he was like, like my wife, her mum was sick last month and she's not insured. Like, the procedure she needed wasn't insured, and it was 120 grand. We just paid for it. We didn't have to think about it. We just actually, all we did was tune into whether it felt true for her to have it. And she just had it. It was a non-issue. We moved on. And I was like, fuck, I want a cloud like that. And I didn't know that, until that, I hadn't even conceptualized, right? Like, who thought of like, oh, it'd be cool to pay $120,000 medical bill? Not a vision for me anyway. But now that I'm here, it's like, it's actually nothing to do with money. For me, it's about being myself in the world and being that beacon of light, being that example of, hey, this is what's possible for you if you follow your heart. You don't have to compromise your heart to be here. You don't have to give away your sovereignty to be here. And coming through that environment of thinking that, I wanted to be an emergency surgeon, I was like, I'm going to have to give up my time, my money. And I was like, I'm going to have to be really like smart to be able to take maternity leave, like to extend it. But really, yeah, like, this is just about being yourself. I'm just curious, like, who's like, okay, yeah, it'd be cool to have some more in my account so that I could feel that cloud, right? It's pretty cool. I didn't even like, and you know what the really cool thing about it is, that until that question happened and I sat and I did that, I hadn't even realized that the cloud had been built. Like, it just hadn't registered. And I messaged Chris and I was like, man, I have a cloud now. How cool is that? Super cool. So I decided to help other people by creating that step-by-step system that any heart-centered creative could use to build their own magic-led business based on what they love, with integrity to their heart, just as I had done. And it was like, yeah, it really was like breaking my brain, because I didn't identify as a structure person. I identified as like a freedom person, right? I'm like the spiritual person that just follows the pool, and there's no structure, but there was a structure. I was absolutely following a structure. I was just not realizing that that's what it was, because it was intuitive. In my mind, a structure was like, a manual. So I made it into a manual. This photo is so cute. This is Mel and Paige, who are on the GP team now. One of our first in-person, like, bigger multi-day workshops. Oh my God. Mel's here, pretty sure. Say hi, Mel. Paige is on our Friday call. But yeah, I understood it, right? I finally was like, oh, fuck, structure. And the 3 steps to financial sovereignty were born. Super cool. The big mistakes, I promised this at the start. Put a number in the chat box if you relate to these. 1, you weren't taught to focus on your natural ability and true end results, those true North Stars, the North Stars that I spent majority of my learning life, talking school, talking my education, moving towards, they weren't actually in my heart what I wanted. It wasn't my heart whispering for me to go in a particular direction. Then I was like, okay, and following it, it was like, this is the way. Go, right? This is what good looks like. You've either been trying to work someone else's dream or trying to rebel from the system, or both. But that rebellion, we spoke about it earlier, it's a negative end result. It's where you go, I don't like this, so I'm going to create the opposite thing to get away from it. I don't like feeling ugly when I look in the mirror, so I'm going to try and tell myself that I'm beautiful, but I don't believe it. I don't like being broke, so I'm going to tell myself that I'm super rich, but I don't believe it. I don't like my people that I hang out with, that's how the way that my community doesn't encourage me, but I'm going to focus on what's good about them and pretend the rest isn't there. Anyone relate? I mean, it's any area of our lives, right? You've had bad mentorship, and I don't mean that in the sense of your mentors suck. I'm sure, I mean, I hope that you guys have all had incredible mentors, but we have a habit of taking advice from people and smacking it into the wrong area of our lives where it's just not relevant. You know, I mentioned my mum before. We have such a cool relationship, and she has these friends that she's been like best friends with for over 50 years, which to me is like, I mean, it's longer than I've been alive, right? And they have such beautiful sovereign friendship relationships. And there's 4 of them, and it doesn't matter. Like, there's no jealousy if a couple hang out, or like, there's just nothing. They just have the most beautiful friendship. So if my mum wants to give me advice on friendship, I am like, all ears, I'm getting my notepad, I'm in, let's go. But if she tries to advise me on my business, I just like in one ear out the other. You know, I let her speak, but it's just not her thing. But she still gives me advice, right? Because she loves me. But how many of us have taken advice from maybe the wrong person? Basically, all of them are relatable. Cool, Sarah. Yeah, they work for me. 4, you lack self-belief. I think all of us do. I think you're lying to yourself if you're like, nah, I don't have any of that. You might not call it self-belief, but there'll be some sort of insecurity that you have. Negative shot. Yeah, Frank. And you never made it a priority. And maybe that's shifting. Maybe that's why you're here, because you're like, fuck, I've had enough. But if you're honest with yourself, had you made it a priority, you probably would have made it happen already. I'd be very surprised if you didn't. When it's your true North Star and you're like, I'm fucking going for it, shit happens, right? Yeah. And so I want to say it's not your fault. I'm not here to attack you for your previous priorities, but it's within your power to shift, right? You're aware of it now. No more excuses. I have all the compassion in the world for people who aren't aware of something and just keep going. We all witness people doing that, right? And they're just naive. We've all been that person. But when you know and you keep choosing it, I'm like, come on, like, you're actually being crazy. So here's an invitation for you to shift now. I think we've probably all been that crazy person too, right? To the solution, you totally blew shit up. Love it. You can get paid to do what you love. And the best way to do that is to just create a financially sovereign alchemical business, to actually have it, to actually choose that. And not to sometimes choose it, not to have it on Tuesdays, not to have it, you know, when there's abundance of clients to choose from, then I choose the ones that fit. But when there's not that many, like, come on, beggars can't be choosers. Like, actually to have it. And by alchemical, we're going to go through that in a moment. I mean, holding actually truth, love, and business. Truth, love, and business. There you go. Truth, love, and wisdom in your life. Actually holding those poles, not just waving them around, but they're like translucent flags that mean nothing. There's a lot of that. Cool. Who wants some more of that? I do. It doesn't get old, right? It's like more. Let's go. Financial sovereignty. So let's define sovereign, a supreme ruler, especially a monarch, or possessing supreme or ultimate power. We like both. In MYM, I vibe with both of those. I see everyone as powerful. You know, I have it reflected to me sometimes that people will be like, oh, yeah, I thought you'd be really intimidating, or like, oh, you just like tell it like it is. It's like, yeah, because I assume you're powerful. And I assume that when a powerful person receives information about themselves, it's going to serve them, choosing their heart. When it's just information, right? So I'm going to assume you're powerful. And I want to be the ruler in my life. I want to be the one who's making choice. I literally sit at a throne when I work. Actually, most of the chairs in our house are thrones. Maybe I have a bit of a fetish there. So sustainably monetizing what you love, that's what it means for me. Financial sovereignty is like, it's sustainable. It's not a one-hit wonder. Who's seen creatives or entrepreneurs who launch a new thing every 5 minutes and they do it once or twice, and then they're like, oh, I've been inspired to do something different. And you're like, why? Was that structure out of integrity? Did it not serve people? Are you bored? Scatterbrains, yeah. Yeah. Structure holds. And I don't know about you guys, but I want longevity. I want to be like, cool. If I cark it, God forbid, I hope that doesn't happen. But, if my time's up, I know Claire's sorted. I know that my brother's going to have a legacy for him and my nephew. I know my mum will be looked after. It's just like sustainability, longevity. Getting paid for living in your heart, the heart dollars that I mentioned earlier, should be a hashtag. Impacting others through your truth. The truth hits, hey. You're that saying, like, if you're not upsetting anyone, you're not speaking loud enough. I think because when you resonate with truth, anyone who isn't resonating with truth, it feels like a personal attack. When you hear the truth that you're not ready for it, it feels triggering. If I say to you, your relationship sucks, or your bank account sucks, or your house is hideous, if any of those are true for you, you would have felt like a twinge. It's like I'm attacking you. And I'm not, right? But that's what the truth does. It just cuts through, it slices. And for me, the best gift, I'm self-governed and I'm truly wealthy. I have real choice. That's what it's about for me. And that's changing, right? When we're truly creators, it continues to evolve. It continues to go to another level. There isn't a destination. I'm not like, oh, when we move into our dream home, I'm just going to stop creating for a few years. It's going to unfold. It's going to be a new level. I'm going to be in a new level of heart momentum over and over and over again. Do you guys relate? But what most of us do is we get into a little bit of heart momentum and then we're like, put on the brakes. That was enough. Let's stop. And then we don't build true wealth for ourselves. We build this falsity. You guys still awake? You still with me? You got to have it, right? If you aren't financially sovereign, you're going to be completely dependent on others forever, for the rest of your life. And like, actually, with this question, if you aren't living your true nature and purpose, and I mean, be honest with yourself right now, 10 out of 10, the things in your life, are you living your true nature and purpose? Just yes or no. Then what are you doing? If that answer is anything less than yes, what are you doing? And if you don't create an alchemical business, the structures will break. It's flimsy. And we're seeing this now, right? How much are we seeing this now just in every industry? Businesses that aren't built on love, businesses that we can't feel the integrity of, businesses that we don't look at and go, fuck yeah, they're always striving to be better. They're always growing. They're always evolving. They're breaking, right? People are choosing it less and less. People are putting dollars there less and less. And the people who own companies like that, businesses like that, they're not that happy. There's a difference between, monetizing a business and having a successful, making a lot of money business and an alchemical business. They are different. I don't believe that it's everyone's truth to make millions. I do believe it's everyone's truth to make more than enough, to be in an overflow state just from choosing their hearts. And that's what alchemical business is about for me. It's about finding that sweet spot for you and then expanding within your own honeypot. So the 3 steps to financial sovereignty in alchemical business. I love these photos. Connect, step 1. I'd screenshot this if I was you, if you're not a quick typer or writer. Connect to your vision, to your current reality, and to your wisdom. Cultivate a functional relationship with structure. Hit brick walls chasing money. Yeah, because it's not really the point, right? And create an infinity income you love. I can't wait to talk about the infinity piece with you guys. If you take one thing, that'll change your life. Anybody read this book? Have you heard of Bronnie Ware and the 5 Regrets of the Dying? So this book's about a woman who's a palliative care nurse. So for those who aren't familiar with that, it means that she spends the last weeks, I think it's the last 8 weeks, Rachel probably know, Rachel's a nurse, of people's lives with them, and she was interviewing them. And these are the top 5 regrets. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I won that battle when I left uni. That was me choosing that. I wish I hadn't worked so much. Again, when you love your work, it doesn't feel like that. It's like I'm immersed in my purpose, not working my life away. They're different. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. The freedom, right, that comes from just being ourselves. And again, we're seeing the side effect of the symptoms in the world right now of people who can't, people who won't, people who don't know how or don't think it's okay to. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. This is a really big one for me. Community is such a high value. And I absolutely, in those times of choosing and leaning over edges, figured out some people who weren't really my friends. They were friends with the image of me that I was in. And also where I wasn't in my heart, and I didn't commit to staying in touch with people. And that wasn't my truth either. And then I wish I'd let myself be happier. I love the language of that. Let myself, a reminder that it's a choice and that you're powerful. Do you guys relate to any of these? This is like, to me, financial sovereignty is just medicine for all of this. All of it. And yeah, I definitely recommend reading the book. Hey, all right, this is good. I feel like we're going to wake some people up, hey? Okay, so I want everyone to just kind of like shake a little bit. Erica is going to be writing down everyone's name. So if you're live, if you are listening and you haven't put anything in the chat box lately, she's going to go off who's been live, who's been interacting, and we're going to give away this course to someone completely for free. We've got all your details, so we'll be able to give you access this evening. Shaking, yeah, epic. Who else is yeah, here, say hey, give us a smiley face, give us some love. And I'm also going to give away a signed copy of my book, which is exciting. This course is epic. It's a foundation of every single training that the Genius Portal has. She's checking the names. Do you want to come in here, Erica, and say hey to everyone? She's in my house right now. Put her on the spot. Come shake it in front of everybody. She'll be here. Oh, there she is. Okay, please, you guys shake too. Just give us some good energy. All right, so we're going to do the first one for Awaken Creativity. We're going to do the second one for the book.
Dope.
Do you want to pull it or you want to hold it?
I'll hold it.
Okay, you gotta hold it higher. I can totally see that. Okay, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Yeah, this is what our friendship's really actually like, guys. I don't know if I only have one. Okay. Bella. My song. Far out, Brussels sprout. I'm gonna leave that there. And okay, this one for my book. So that's super exciting, Bella. Congratulations. We'll give you a email after this. And this is my book, Ankara Code. So I wrote this with the intention of creatively inspiring its readers, its holders, its sleep with it under its pillow people. And it's true, people who have read it have written their own books, have created their own stuff. It's super cool. So that's why that's here. So I'm going to sign a copy and send it to somebody. Tamika. Thank you.
Bola.
Very kindly. You can go back to your champagne now. Congrats. That's super cool. Awesome. Does everyone feel like a bit more awake now? I feel like wake up. 90 minutes is like a long time to stay focused. You're super welcome. Cool. We're doing it. Okay, step 1, connect. Let's go. We're doing the thing. Connect to your intuition, how to intuitively connect to the truth of your purpose, your actual purpose, not just like an illusion of it, your vision and clarity, your current reality, and your wisdom. The prerequisite for this, I believe, is an open heart. I see a lot of people create, but not be willing to be vulnerable, create, but do it from a place of contraction, share, but do it from a place of contraction. And when they build momentum from that space, I just see it crumble. Can anyone relate to that? Sharing, but it's like you're not fully open, you're not fully in it. You're going to do things like see if anyone liked it, be really upset if someone comments something that disagrees. You just invested in the feedback. When you have an open heart, it's like, I'm in love. The right people are going to come love it, and the others, I still love them. Changes the game. So if anything, an open heart, write that down. But intuition makes it come from your soul, right? It makes it come from a place of integrity. So alchemy in your business, I want you to think of your business right now. What are you creating? What do you know about it? Is it like a thing that you know you want to do, but you don't even fucking know what it is? Do you have one and it's like a mess? Do you have 4? And if you don't know, just think, okay, the vision of my business. And I want you to imagine, first and foremost, choosing to serve your highest good as a foundation for your creativity, as a foundation for what it is that you're creating. And then I want you to imagine like taking a wand and literally rolling it around you, like putting magical sprinkly dust around you. And then imagining that as you do that, you're stepping into the vision where you already have an alchemical business, where you already have that financial sovereignty. And I just want you to take 10 seconds, 20 seconds to sink into that feeling. And just notice what's jumping out at you. How does it feel? What's happening in your heart? What are you doing? What are you focused on? Who are you with? I want you to write some stuff down and give me a smiley face, give me an emoji when you're done. And 20 more seconds. Five. Okay. I want you to shake that off and pick up your imaginary wand again. And this time you're going to put yourself in your current reality. So imagine that you're casting like an honesty spell on yourself. And you're waving your wand around and you're going, okay, I'm going to be honest about where I am right now in regards to my business, in regards to my financial sovereignty. No other intention other than being honest and receiving honest information. And then I just want you to write down what comes up for you. Let's look at the truth. Actually acknowledge the real truth. And there should be a gap, right? If you're being honest with what you would love and where you are, there will be a gap. There's a gap for me if I do this. The vision's always going to keep unfurling. I'm going to give a few more seconds here. Again, let me know when you've written something down. And then when you're done, I want you to shake it off. Imagine that both those spells can just get off now. And I want you to imagine that you get to step back and look at those two realities side by side. One where it's all there, you've got it, you did it, you already did it. That version of you, that's your truth, right? Being expressed, your heart being expressed. And then next to that reality, you've got just the honest truth of where you are today. And just imagining that they're both before you. I want you to observe what's obvious, observe what jumps out at you. Something beautiful happens when we hold the pillars of truth and love. Our wisdom comes to the surface. We can't help it. Automatically, we're going to notice things. And then I want you to ask the version of you that's in the vision, the version of you that already has it. Just ask them how they did it. Ask them what the next step is. Ask them how they shifted their focus. And I don't mean, how did you do it from step 1 to 3,000? Just how did you shift from where I am now to start choosing to go towards you? What was that one shift? What was that next piece? And whatever you get, whatever, however weird, however much sense it may or may not make, I just want you to write that down and make a commitment to yourself to follow through with that. When I first really, really wanted to channel a brand, I did this practice and I go to the beach for 3 days and eat porridge. I was like, what the actual fuck? But I did it. And on day 3, I was rained down with inspiration and it all came. It doesn't matter how obscure it is. Has everybody written something down? Cool. Okay, step 2. It's our first piece, right? Activate intuition, follow your heart, and then let's cultivate. I talked about a negative end result before. I used to believe that we had to break free from structure, but then I realized that actually I needed it. It was necessary. And my structure of chaos was what was fucking me. So you need to make a structure that serves you, that creates flow for yourself. How do you show up every day to work? To create, that creates flow for your clients and for your marketing, for your clients to arrive, right? That's the golden ticket. Oh, this is Chris, pillow, the cloud, not the pillow, cloud Chris and his wife. Cool, a functional relationship with structure. A healthy shift your relationship with structure. Self-awareness and the power to choose. If you aren't self-aware, you're just going to create more stuff. And a devotion to your heart. This is the big one. And it requires these prerequisites, right? You've got to be honest with yourself. You've got to have your priorities. When I started really choosing my heart, funnily enough, I stopped drinking. I stopped wasting my cash on stuff that I wasn't really interested in. I stopped surrounding myself with people who didn't believe in me and my visions. I started surrounding myself with people who I was inspired by. My heart led me, right? The right teachers were so obvious. And just devotion. I'm going to say that 1,000,000 times. Doing it once or twice is not going to change your life. Doing it every day over a period of time will completely change the foundations of the way that you are. So you might be thinking it sounds easy, and you're not entirely wrong or right, you know, like it requires this willpower, but it's a simple structure. The tools that I use, I really mean it when I'm like, anyone could build their business in this way. I don't make that up. Choosing love is easy. Choosing your heart is easy when you really actually have clarity on the alternatives. And yeah, okay, so we're not talking about money really yet, right? But so many focus on that when it's actually just not the true focus. Frank mentioned it in the chat box before. Structure built with integrity will last. I want longevity. I don't want quick fixes. And if you're looking for a quick fix, I'm not your person. We are not your space. Doesn't mean that you can't create quick. No, of course you can. I did. But it's not a quick fix. It's different. And it's a bit scary, right? Like it requires vulnerability. It's unknown. When they say all of the good sex, all of the good people, the best experiences happen outside your comfort zone. But there's nothing fucking scarier than being in that comfort zone forever, if you ask me. So I want you to write down, what is your resistance? What are your reservations? What are your judgments? There will be some. If you aren't willing to see yourself, then nothing's going to just stop you from keeping on creating the same stuff. There's nothing wrong with having thoughts, having judgments, having whatever. Bring it on. I have reservations and judgments about myself all the time. Do I choose to buy into them? Absolutely not. Do I create my life based on them as a reflex response to them? Absolutely not. write something down, and it gives you choice. It gives you liberation. If there's something that you're afraid of saying out loud, like put it in the chat box. Maybe you've got a judgment of me. Maybe you're judging yourself that you're not ready. And step 3, create. Doubt, fear, yeah. Self-doubt was probably my biggest one. And I think it's fear for all of us, right? Just in different ways. This is Paige and I. We had an upgrade of our photo shoot. Vulnerability, yeah. The create steps. Create your freedom. A journey business. To actually take people on a journey, to be building relationships, for the focus to be connection over time. And not, cool, made my sale, let's move on. In the Genius Portal, in our structures, like our cross sales, when people like move to different parts of our community, different parts of our offering, is ridiculously high when we compare to industry average. It's not because we're like, buy our stuff, buy our stuff, buy our stuff, shoving it down people's throats. It's because we actually just care about the people and we invite them to be in the space that we're like, I feel you here. It's because we have relationships. There's no other reason than that. And it's effortless because it's true. People feel the truth in their heart. They follow the call. Your community, your real people, your team, which is a big leap when you first start that, right? Honestly, sharing with a team for the first time was as scary, if not actually scarier for me than when I left university. And your infinity income. I want you to write this down, your infinity income. So you guys all know what an infinity symbol is, right? That's my version of it. Like an 8 tilted over. What I mean by that is I want you to imagine if the center of it is in front of your heart. And then one circle of it comes into your body, through your power center, through your base, through your heart, through your expression, through your divinity and out. And that's like a circle, right? And then when you're interacting with your business, there is the same circle. It's grounded, it's powerful, it has heart, it's expressed, it's connected to your own version of divinity, whatever that means, right? Might be your intuition, it might be your spirit. And then they feed each other beautifully. One nourishes the other, right? So the first one is like, okay, does your business feel nourishing? Let's start broad. Does that feel like something that you would love to create? If you made it an infinity symbol now, is it flowing, like flowing liquid gold, or are there gaps? Most people I ask that question to are like, oh, it's like this like rusty thing. There's holes. But then we go deeper. So I want you to imagine having a business, having a structure where the offerings are like linked, right? And there's just infinity symbols everywhere. Every decision that we make in the business, we're like, does this feel like an infinity decision? Does this feel like it has heart momentum? If I'm going to create something else for our business, does that serve in an infinity symbol our team, our community? Does it serve the other spaces in the business? Does it build? And I feel like every time we add another piece to the infinity puzzle, it starts to whir faster. Is this landing? It's so big. And then if you imagine, if it's feeding each other, right? That energy flow. People go up, people go down, people go sideways because it's all connected. People bring their friends. Top 20. Top 20 favorite pieces. Yeah, it's one of my fave. It's that 10 out of 10. If it's not a 10 out of 10, that shit ain't flowing. And I encourage you to right now get fucking real with yourself with what is in your life that is not in an infinity symbol with your heart and with your business. And just have the courage to turn it off, to switch your energy, tap away from it, to start choosing 10 out of 10, right? I call it an infinity life. Can you have an infinity life if there's leaks everywhere? Absolutely not. So this requires integrity, like to a whole other level. There are things, those 9 out of 10s, oh, they're like teasers, right? That'd be so fun to do that with this person. That'd be like really great for my brand. That'd be really marketable right now. People are hungry for that right now, whatever the story is. But if it's not a 10 out of 10, it is a no. If it doesn't build an infinity loop, it is a no, let it go. That's true service. That's true self-responsibility. We don't create just to make more cash. We don't create just to play off someone's wounding. We create because there's an infinity symbol calling us, begging us to fuel more service, to take self-responsibility for ourselves as creative beings. It is my job only, to bring my heart out into the world. My job, I've got to choose it. I don't want a 6 out of 10 chooser. I don't want a 9.9 out of 10 chooser. I want it here. And I want that to be the message that people get when they spend time with me. I hope that's the message that you take home today, if anything, if one thing, to start to build that infinity life. Such a powerful mental symbol for me, and so simple. Does that land in for everyone? So if you don't have any of that right now, that's okay. And even if you do, there's probably holes. Even if you do, like I have a team, I have a business, I have an audience. Is it an infinity business? Is it an infinity audience? Is it an infinity team? Tension, Frank, yeah. Right? It's tension inducing, but it's a myth that tension is bad. Tension inspires action. Like I was saying, like I've seen people charge $8,000 to make 2 pages of a website, right? Without even a homepage. It blows my mind, but what does it do? It creates tension. It inspires me to move forward. It inspires me to polish all of our infinity symbols to a new level, make it better. And if you don't know where to begin, it's okay. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. And that's why you're here, right? Get support for that. The thing is that it works. This is what I care about. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if we believe in the same God. I don't care if we eat the same things on Sundays. I don't. Like, I love you for being you. I care that these structures work. I want you in the world, your actual heart. That's the world that I want to be a part of. That's the structure. And that's what I want to celebrate in you, right? So I want you to think about what your level of financial sovereignty is right now. I call level 1 like pleasure, like you enjoy where your dollars are coming from. You just enjoy it. Are you enjoying your business? Is there enjoyment in those infinity symbols for you? Is there joy? It's like step 1. And then secondly, choice. Do you get to choose how you enjoy it? Or is it like you enjoy it, but you have to be in this one place? You enjoy it, but it does require 8 hours a day. You enjoy it, but it has this condition attached to it. So when we have choice, it's like, okay, we're removing more conditions. And then wealth, I spoke about earlier, true wealth. Just this like open expansiveness. So I want you to identify where your level is right now. No right or wrong. You don't have to share. You put a smiley face when you've done it, or a sad face if it's not where you want it to be. And also acknowledge what you would love. And actually what I would love for you to just fucking choose for yourself is to just get to the next level. You might be at a level 0 right now. You might be like, pleasure, I didn't realize I was meant to feel good. It's a business, right? But any moment that you're not doing that you're not choosing differently, you're just creating the same shit. And it's your precious energy, that energy that you could be like funneling and pouring into these infinity symbols is just like shitting itself down the drain. Who relates to that? I relate to that. I was a chronic energy shitter. Can we coin that? That's a real thing. Crack myself up. So you've got to have this alchemical business mind shift. It's illogical, right? Seemingly, magic is real. And you can do it on your heart's terms. To me, that's real magic. Society is pretty full of some shitty examples. And as I said before, like it's not your fault, but it's possible. And that's what I hope is landing for you guys. Is that landing, like the possibility of it? Because the past is just, it just won't change. You'll just have more of it. Cool. I feel like I've touched on this. Yeah. Epic. Okay, so here's what you got to do. Start prioritizing it. Make a choice to show up consistently, not just once. To notice that you haven't been or where you aren't and stop doing that. Are you willing? Ask yourself, if I already had that next level of financial sovereignty, if I was already operating in my alchemical business, what would I do next? What would my next step be? How would I respond to this situation? Would I handle this conflict with integrity? And then do it. How many of you have been like, oh, fuck, I'm so in my shit right now. And I know I am, but I'm not going to change anything. Oops, I procrastinated again. Haha. I'll joke with my friends about it later. And then we enable each other to be small. Yeah. Or you act from that place, hey? Yeah. Yep. And get support, right? Is this a personal attack? No, babe. But I did say, the truth slices. Get support. You're not going to do it alone. Well, I mean, you can. It's possible. It'll be a lot longer and it'll be harder. So would it be okay if I tell you exactly what you can choose here with us at the Genius Portal? I'm going to assume, yes, you're here with your own free will. So the Monetize Your Magic Map. This is what we're celebrating today. This is why we're drinking champagne, because the doors are open. And I made this for the frustrated creatives whose greatest fear is not living life from their heart. For the willing visionaries who don't want to spend the thousands of hours or dollars or any more in doing it alone the hard way or in promises that don't fucking deliver. This program is a 12-month portal for weaving transformative structure into your life and business. This is, again, it's not a quick fix. It's a structure for you to show up and be held and show up and be held and show up and be held. And lovingly deliver the truth, right? Because we're seeing you as powerful. It's a system that you can learn once. This is my favorite bit, and implement to up level for the rest of your life. In every area of your life. We focus on business. There's a lot of business strategy, right? A lot of business structures, but you won't follow through with your business and not change the rest of your life, not show up more powerfully in your relationships, not be more sovereign with your social media, not be more sovereign in your community, in your bedroom. So here's what you get. We have a 3-day MYM live experience workshop. We run this currently online because of current circumstances, 6 times a year, every 2 months, because we know that you have more than one thing inside you. We don't want to be one of those masterminds that has one event a year that you just get to, or 2. We want you to come and create another project and create another project and create more depth in your projects. So the 3 days, the point is you build one of those infinity offerings each time. The first one, you might do your entire business structure. Second one, you might do the first offer. And so after you've come in 6 times, you've got that journey, you've got that structure built out for longevity. It's not just one thing that doesn't feed anything else and pisses the energy everywhere, right? An online training university, everything that you will learn at the event, but so much more on demand and broken down into like bite-sized sessions. There are a lot of longer sessions in there as well, but the practical bits were like, this is it, let's go. We want to pull you into action. There's so much content in there. This is the path. We have this all written down if you want to see all of the modules in, all the details and that sort of thing, but this is them. I'm not going to read it all now. Live training. So every fortnight, this is something that for me was really missing when I did online courses. When I started actually investing in business, they'd be like, I want to connect with the other people in this course, or I want to actually have some accountability to have to show up. So every fortnight we do a 2-hour session where we deliver content, where we teach, where we train. And the first hour we learn, we're learning a structure. The second hour, we're actually implementing it while we're there with you. So you can get that live support hands-on while you're there, accountability to show up. Our community loves this. It's really powerful. And then the Bang series is where we go through those modules of the course twice a year in full, just to pull you through. It's about creating the sustainability in terms of follow through. We have live implementation sessions once a week. We have an opportunity where you can come on and you can get a one-on-one work review, like get that one-on-one time with us, with our expert eyes going over your work. And we get the team member who's going to be the best to do that, get access to our team. And so we'll review your websites, we'll review your course structures, we'll review your offers, we'll review whatever you're making. Ebooks I had last week. That's really powerful. So you get to have that one-on-one time without having to pay the extra high dollars for the one-on-one time that you would. One-on-one support. You also get the one-on-one support. So you have a team of support dedicated to you. And we have a personal channel so that you can contact the team whenever you like. But you also get one-on-one live sessions with Miss Eric Perry, just to kick you up with those truth bombs, right? To keep you moving, to keep you supported in just your next step to avoid that overwhelm. You're going to get a course called Grounded in Greatness. We're super excited to share this with you guys. We've recently filmed this. It's freaking epic. And this is to anchor you into that heart space, to anchor you into that energy so that you can choose the infinity life for yourself, to choose the momentum of your heart, anchoring you into a new frequency for yourself. I'm super excited for that. The community, I mentioned this before, who values community like as a high value? For me, it's everything. Having people who actually see you as powerful and assume that you're going to succeed. Like assume that you can create the magic, assume that you can create the miracle, not poke holes in you, right? Love community more than life. Oh, community is massive. Yeah, it's super big. We have mindfulness support and plug-in practices. Your stuff's going to come up, right? The stuff is going to come up when you're going for what you love. They say the demons rise from the earth. And it's true. So we have mindfulness support in the container and plug-in practices so that when you get in it, you can just be like, Ellie, get in my ears. Erica, get in my ears. It's big. And thanks, Rach. The community is amazing. Okay, let's refresh what's in. These are values, by the way. It's what I would charge if it was individual. So the online training university of 30 plus hours, the system that I use to create everything in my life, books, music, everything, 4K. Live teaching calls, which are now fortnightly for 2 hours, a value of 6,000. Weekly implementation sessions. I mean, to value that at 6,000 is a bit of a joke. My clients pay me $1,000 an hour and you get one of those once a week. So, you know, we're kind with that valuation, I think. Grounded in Greatness for a value of $497. Monetize Your Magic Toolkit, not available anywhere else. It's $400. That's the structure in a book. One-on-one support team with your weekly calls. Just actually invaluable. Like you get my team's expertise at your fingertips. It's crazy. I have clicked the button. The suspense. Real community. Totally invaluable. Meditation bundle for a value of $500. The MAP quarterly live event. So I take you through my intuitive process for planning out each quarter in our business, in the Genius Portal itself. We take you with us. The bonus free live event registration. We sell individual tickets to that weekend for $3,000. You get to come 6 times as our guest. We'd love to do them all in person, but we're not at the moment because we want everyone to come. So we're thinking of doing a bonus one, a 7th one next year in person for those who can. So there's a total value of almost $43,000. And I know people who charge $40,000 for less. And the number one reason why people don't get started, this is why I didn't get started, is there's not the right timing or that you'll try to do it yourself. And it does hold you back. Does anyone relate? Anyone done that before? That was me for a really long time. I kicked myself for not investing in me, for not believing in my heart enough. We have introduced a graduate bonus. So we're going to, for our graduates who complete the program in this class, we're going to be supporting you in creating a webinar like this for your own infinity offer, so that you can share it with your audience, so that you can give your gift to the world. And for some context, I have a friend who sells a webinar creation course for $20,000. So that's pretty epic. We have an invest in full bonus. So these are offerings that Erica and I don't actually do outside of this space, but I'm going to do a greatness reading, a one-on-one session for anyone who pays in full. And Erica's going to do an entity channeling, which is totally her gift. So that's a pretty cool value of $3K to add on top. Cool. So the total value is nearly $43,000. Our actual price is usually 12 payments of $887. And we have a paid in full option as well. We do have other finance available. We've had people asking us, I'm a full yes, I really want to come. I know that this is the space for me. I know that this is my heart. Is there another option? Yes, there is. Erica, can you pop the links in the chat for us? We have an option where if you want to just put in a deposit and then speak with us about financing, where we make that viable, because our priority is not, it's just not about the money. It's just not. It's about the right people getting the right support. So if you're a full yes, if you want to get on a clarity call with anyone in the team, if you're not a full yes, if you've got questions. We had someone who was on the Friday webinar who was like, I'm 99%. And we're like, okay, let's get on a call. And I have limited time only written here. It's not to create scarcity. It's not a limited time only, but like, just kidding. We're going to open it again. We're going to open it until March. It's not how we roll. It's just the truth. So Eric has popped links in the chat box now for if you want to get a call booked in, or if you would like to get in, if you're a full yes. We will keep the doors open as long as there is space. We do have a number that when we hit that number, we close. And that's because of the level of support that our team offers. It's a level of availability that we want to have for you. There's a point where there's too many people and that quality is compromised. So I recommend if you are booking a call that you book in for one of the earlier time slots that you can get in for. We're going to send this recording out this evening, and I want you to be there if it's for you. Okay, so my question for you is, what's your next step? You guys had that wisdom that you connected with. You already know if this space is for you or not, and you might need some support with that decision, but you already know. You already know if you resonate with what I've been sharing this evening. You already know if you connect with me. You already know if you connect with Erica. You already know. And so the next step is just, what is it? What is it? And if you have questions, we're here to answer. So I'm going to make myself available right now. Eric is actually available right now. If there's anybody who wants to jump on the phone now, then, you can put in the chat box, call me, or if you are connected with her, you can send us an email. But does anybody have any questions? I'd love to answer it. And just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. Thank you for wanting to choose sovereignty for yourself. It really inspires me. It is the world that I want to see in the way that is true for you to create it. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me for an extra 6 minutes. And yeah, it's really beautiful to share space. Okay, I'm going to switch off the recording if we don't have any questions, but we're here. We're going to send you the recording to this. We're also going to send you the links, and we're also going to send you a link to all the details. So when I was like, we have details about the modules and the bonuses more so, we have that written up for you. So you're going to get it all in your inbox. Keep an eye on it. Book a call with us. We'd love to chat to you. We'd love to connect with you. And if we have a call with you and we're like, there's a truth here, there's a resonance here, and it doesn't feel like this is the space, then we'll find the right space. So if you feel a tug, book a call. We're going to serve you. You'll actually receive an intuitive reading while you're on that call, which is pretty special. Okay. I love you. Thank you for your time. I hope that you go and celebrate yourself in your choices this evening and that you follow through with whatever your next step is. And I hope that I see you really soon. So much love, everybody. Bye, bye, bye. You're so welcome. Thank you.